I stopped telling my family about my life somewhere around my 24th birthday. Not dramatically, just quietly, the way you stop watering a plant that refuses to grow. My brother Daniel was the golden child. Straight A's, corporate job, engaged at 26. Every milestone came with a party, a toast, 47 Facebook photos with captions like, "Our amazing son." My sister Claire wasn't far behind. Dean's List, marketing job in the city, nice apartment. Every family dinner featured updates on Claire's life like episodes of a TV show. And me? I was the middle child. Present but not particularly noticed. Included but not celebrated. When Daniel got promoted to senior account manager, we had dinner at the nicest steakhouse in town. Speeches, champagne. Dad gave a toast about how proud he was. When I got promoted to lead developer 3 months later, managing a team of 8 six-figures, I mentioned it at Sunday brunch. "Oh, that's wonderful," Mom said, checking her phone. "Claire, did you see that email I forwarded you?" Nobody asked about my new role. Nobody raised a glass. I was a supporting character in the story of my family. Background decoration. So I stopped trying to be seen. I showed up for holidays because not showing up would cause drama. I sent birthday cards because not sending them would be rude. I participated in the group chat with thumbs-up emojis and generic, "sounds great" responses. But I stopped sharing, stopped hoping, stopped expecting anything different. It was easier that way. Then I met Jordan. Coffee shop, laptop, shared outlet, 3 hours of conversation. We exchanged numbers. Jordan was a graphic designer. Funny, kind, thoughtful. Had a close-knit family, parents who called just to talk, siblings who showed up for each other. 6 months in, Jordan asked about my family. "We're fine," I said. "Do they know about me?" "Not yet." I waited until the next family dinner. Daniel and Rachel were showing engagement photos. Professional photographer, sunset lighting, coordinated outfits. Everyone oohed and awed. 20 minutes of wedding planning. Everyone engaged, offering ideas. I waited for a lull. "I've been seeing someone," I said. Everyone looked at me like I'd just reminded them I was also at the table. "Oh?" Mom said. "That's nice. What's his name?" "Jordan. We've been together about 9 months." "9 months?" Claire said. "And you're just now telling us?" "Is it serious?" Dad asked. "Yeah," I said. "Well, don't rush into anything," Mom said. Then, turning back to Daniel, "Did you decide on the invitations?" And just like that, the conversation moved on. Jordan wasn't mentioned again. When I left, Mom said, "Bring your friend next time," like Jordan was a college roommate. I told Jordan about it the next day. "Don't rush into anything," Jordan repeated. "You've been together almost a year." "I know." "Did they ask anything about me? What I do, where I'm from, how we met?" "No." Jordan was quiet for a moment. "Do you want me to meet them?" "Honestly, I don't know if it matters. They won't remember your name anyway." "That's sad." "Yeah, it is." We sat in that sadness for a minute. Then Jordan said, "My family wants to meet you, properly. My mom's been asking when you're coming for dinner." "Really?" "Really. She's already planning the menu. My dad wants to show you his vinyl collection. My sister wants your opinion on whether she should cut bangs." I laughed despite myself. They care about my opinion on bangs? They care about you, because I care about you. That's how it works. That's how it works. Such a simple concept. Such a foreign experience. I met Jordan's family 2 weeks later. Patricia hugged me at the door. Robert asked about my work, actually listened. Maya showed me her photography and wanted my opinion. They asked where I grew up, what I studied, how Jordan and I met. They treated me like I mattered. Patricia hugged me goodbye and said, "You're welcome here anytime." I believed her. In the car, I was quiet. "Your family is really nice," I said. "They loved you." I didn't know families could be like that. Jordan took my hand. "You deserve that. You deserve to be seen." I wanted to believe it. 6 months later, Jordan and I got engaged. We told Jordan's family that night. They screamed. Patricia cried. Champagne, celebration. We told my family 3 days later at Sunday brunch. Jordan and I have some news, I said. We're engaged. Silence. 3, 4, 5 seconds. Then Mom smiled. Oh, congratulations, honey. That's big news. How long have you two been together again? Dad asked. A year and a half. Huh. Okay. Well, if you're sure. If I'm sure. I'm sure, I said quietly. Well, good, Mom said. Did you and Rachel finalize the caterer, Daniel? 30 seconds. My engagement got 30 seconds. Jordan squeezed my hand under the table. We started planning. Small venue in the mountains, close friends, people who knew us. Are you inviting your family? Jordan asked. I stared at the guest list. Mom, Dad, Daniel, Rachel, Claire, aunts, uncles, cousins. I have to try one more time, I said. We ordered beautiful invitations. Cream cardstock, gold lettering, custom design. I addressed them myself. Every family member who'd made me invisible for 27 years. We sent them certified mail, delivery confirmation, signature required. I wanted proof. Mom and Dad's, delivered. June 15th, 10:47 a.m. Signed by L. Morrison. Daniel and Rachel's, delivered June 16th, 2:32 p.m. Signed by R. Chen. Claire's, delivered June 14th, 3:15 p.m. Signed by C. Morrison. Every single one delivered, every single one signed for. I waited for RSVPs. The deadline was July 15th. Nothing. I texted Mom. Did you get the wedding invitation? RSVP deadline is today? 3 hours later. Oh yes, we got something. Is that really happening? Is that really happening? Yes, August 12th. You got all the details. Okay, well, we'll see. Summer is really busy. We'll see. July ended. No RSVPs. No calls asking about details. The family group chat had 143 messages about Daniel's wedding. Venue updates, dress fittings, bachelor party planning. I posted once. Quick reminder, my wedding is August 12th. 3 reactions. Mom's thumbs up. Claire's heart emoji. Aunt Linda's smiley. 0 responses. They're not coming, I told Jordan. I know. They think it's a prank. You can't force people to see you, Jordan said, but you can build a life with people who already do. The wedding was perfect. Mountain venue, 50 guests, Jordan's family, my closest friends, co-workers, not a single blood relative. At the reception, Maya asked, "Where's your family?" They couldn't make it, I said. Oh no, are they okay? They're fine, just had other priorities. I realized during the reception, I didn't miss them at all. The people who showed up, who sent RSVPs, who traveled, who celebrated us, they were my family. Real family shows up. We honeymooned for a week, came back to 67 new group chat messages. All about Daniel's wedding in 4 months. Nobody mentioned mine. Nobody asked how it went. They didn't know it had happened, or chose not to acknowledge it. I left the group chat. Nobody noticed for 2 weeks. When they did, nobody asked why. September came. October. November. Daniel's wedding dominated every conversation at every family gathering. I went to a few birthdays, Sunday brunches, sat quietly, smiled when expected, left early. Nobody asked about Jordan. Nobody asked about married life. Nobody asked to see wedding photos. It was like it never happened, like I never happened. Thanksgiving rolled around. Mom sent a message in the family chat. Well, the one I'd been re-added to without my permission. Thanksgiving at our house. Everyone must come. Big family gathering, no excuses. Want everyone together. I showed Jordan the message. Are you going? Jordan asked. I don't know. Part of me wants to just not show up, not explain. Just be absent the way they've been absent. And the other part? The other part wants them to know. Wants them to see what they did. Wants them to understand. Jordan was quiet for a moment. Do you think they will? Understand? Probably not. But I need them to know anyway. I need to say it out loud. Even if they don't get it. Then say it. I thought about it for days. Imagined the conversation. Imagined their reactions. Imagined walking away afterward. And I realized I didn't want to walk away empty-handed. I wanted proof, evidence, something undeniable. I called the invitation company. "Hi, I need copies of delivery confirmations for some invitations I sent in June. Do you keep those records?" "Absolutely. Give me the order number." I gave them the information. They emailed me PDFs an hour later. Every delivery receipt, every signature, every timestamp. I printed them, put them in a folder, set it by the door. "What's that?" Jordan asked. "Insurance? Evidence? The truth?" "Are you really doing this?" "I am." "Do you want me to come with you?" "No. This is something I need to do alone. But I'll come home to you after." "Promise?" "Promise." Thanksgiving morning, I drove to my parents' house. The folder sat on the passenger seat. My heart pounded the entire drive. I could turn around, could skip it, could avoid the confrontation entirely. But I didn't. Because I needed them to see me. One last time. Even if it was the last time. I parked outside the house, sat in the car for 5 minutes, 10, 15. Then I grabbed the folder, took a breath, and walked inside. The house was full. Mom, Dad, Daniel, Rachel, Claire, Aunt Linda, Uncle Joe, cousins I barely knew. Everyone stuffed, happy, laughing. The smell of turkey and pie filled the air. "There you are," Mom said, hugging me. "We were wondering when you'd show up." I hugged her back, said nothing. Dinner was the same as always. Daniel talked about work. Rachel talked about their honeymoon. Claire talked about a promotion. Everyone engaged, interested, asking questions. I ate quietly. Watched. Waited. After dinner, we moved to the living room. Someone put on football. People sprawled across couches, digesting, reminiscing. That's when my cousin Emily turned to me. Smiled. Asked the question that would change everything. "Your brother's wedding last month was absolutely amazing. One of the best I've ever been to. So when's yours? When are you finally going to settle down?" The room went quiet. Everyone looked at me. Waiting. That familiar look. The "when are you going to get your life together like your brother?" look I'd seen 1,000 times. I set down my fork. Looked at Emily. Then at the rest of them. And I said, very calmly, "I already had mine, last summer. You all got invitations." September came. October. Then November. Daniel's wedding dominated every conversation. Every family gathering became a planning session. Every group chat message was about venues, caterers, guest lists, color schemes. Mom sent daily updates. Claire created a Pinterest board that somehow had 847 pins. Dad talked about his buddy, who knew a guy who could get discounted flowers. I went to a few family dinners during those months. Sat quietly. Nodded when expected. Left early. At one Sunday brunch in October, I walked in wearing my wedding ring. Had been wearing it for 2 months by then. Nobody noticed. Mom hugged me at the door. "Oh good, you're here. We need opinions on the centerpieces for Daniel's reception." I sat down. Wedding ring clearly visible as I reached for coffee. Daniel and Rachel showed everyone photos of 3 different centerpiece options. Everyone had opinions. The discussion lasted 40 minutes. "What do you think?" Rachel asked me at one point. "The middle one is nice," I said. "Great." She turned to Claire. "What about you?" That was the extent of my involvement. 6 words about centerpieces. The ring on my finger went unnoticed. I left after an hour. Jordan was waiting at our apartment. "How was it?" they asked. "Same as always." "Did anyone notice?" I held up my left hand. "Not a single person," I said. Jordan pulled me close. "Their loss." "I know, but it still hurts." "I know." Daniel's wedding was the first weekend of November. Destination venue, upstate. Vineyard. Fall colors. The photos on Instagram looked like a magazine spread. I attended. Jordan stayed home. "Are you sure you don't want me to come?" Jordan asked. "I'm sure. It'll just be awkward explanations about who you are and why they've never met you." We're married. They don't know that. Jordan looked at me for a long moment. This can't keep going forever. I know. It won't. Soon. The wedding was beautiful. I sat near the back with distant cousins who barely remembered my name. Watched Daniel and Rachel exchange vows. Watched Mom cry. Watched Dad's speech about how proud he was of his son. During the reception, I sat at table 12. Not the family table. Not even close to it. Claire found me between courses. You're being really quiet today. Am I? Is everything okay? Everything's fine. You sure? You seem, I don't know, distant. I looked at my sister. Wondered if she'd even remember this conversation tomorrow. I'm good, I said. Just tired. Okay, well, enjoy the wedding. She bounced away to take selfies with bridesmaids. I left before the dancing started. Nobody noticed. Drove home to Jordan, to my apartment, to my real life. How was it? Jordan asked. Perfect. Their wedding was perfect. And you? Invisible, as always. Jordan sat next to me on the couch. You know this is going to come out eventually, right? They're going to find out you got married, that we've been married for 3 months. I know. How do you want them to find out? I thought about that. Thought about all the ways it could happen. A casual mention at dinner, a social media post, an accidental slip, or, I want them to know what they did, I said. I want them to see it. Really see it. Not just hear about it. How? I don't know yet. But I was starting to have an idea. 2 weeks later, Mom sent a message to the family group chat, the one I'd been re-added to without my permission. Thanksgiving at our house. Everyone must come. Big family gathering, no excuses. Want everyone together. Can't wait to see everyone. 53 messages followed. Everyone confirming, everyone excited. Plans for who's bringing what. Daniel and Rachel announcing they had special news to share. Claire saying she's bringing her new boyfriend. I stared at the messages. Thought about ignoring it. Thought about making an excuse. Then I remembered the delivery receipts. Still had them saved in my email. Official documents proving every single invitation had been delivered. Every single one signed for. I called the invitation company. Hi, I need physical copies of delivery confirmations from an order in June. Sure thing, we keep all records. What's the order number? I gave them the information. They said they'd mail certified copies within 3 days. Can you expedite it? I need them by next week. No problem. I can overnight them for an additional fee. Do it. The receipts arrived 4 days before Thanksgiving. Official copies, signature visible, timestamp clear, undeniable proof. I put them in a folder, set it by the door. Jordan found me staring at it that night. You're really doing this? They asked. I am. Are you sure? This is nuclear. You can't take it back. I don't want to take it back. I want them to see what they did. I want them to understand. Will they, though, understand? Probably not, but I need to say it anyway, out loud, in front of everyone, with proof. Jordan sat down. What happens after? I don't know. Probably they'll make excuses. Probably they'll blame me for not reminding them. Probably they'll say I'm being dramatic. And then I leave. And I don't come back. You're sure? I've been sure for months. This is just making it official. Okay. Jordan took my hand. Then do what you need to do. But promise me you'll come home after. I promise. And promise me you won't let them make you feel guilty. I promise. And promise me. I kissed them. I promise. All of it. I'll be okay. I know you will. You're stronger than they ever gave you credit for. Thanksgiving morning arrived cold and clear. I got dressed, jeans and a sweater. Nothing fancy. Grabbed the folder from by the door. Jordan hugged me at the door. You've got this. I know. I love you. I love you too. The drive to my parents' house took 30 minutes. 30 minutes to second guess. 30 minutes to imagine walking away. 30 minutes to consider just letting it go. But I didn't. because I was tired of being invisible, tired of waiting for them to see me, tired of hoping the next gathering would be different. I parked outside the house, sat in the car. The folder sat on the passenger seat. Physical evidence of what they'd done, what they'd ignored, who they'd dismissed. I could turn around, could skip it, could avoid the confrontation entirely. But I'd spent 28 years avoiding confrontation. 28 years being the easy one, the quiet one, the one who didn't make waves. Not today. I grabbed the folder, got out of the car, walked to the door, rang the doorbell, waited. Mom opened the door. Huge smile, arms wide. "There you are. We were wondering when you'd show up. Come in, come in." She hugged me. I hugged back. Mechanical, automatic. Inside, the house was full. Warm. Smelled like turkey and pie and everything Thanksgiving is supposed to smell like. Everyone was there. Mom, Dad, Daniel, Rachel, Claire, and her boyfriend, Aunt Linda, Uncle Joe, cousins Emily and Jason, the whole family. "Look who finally showed up," Dad called from the living room. Everyone turned, waved, said hi, then went back to their conversations. I set the folder on the entry table, took off my coat, hung it up. "Can I get you something to drink?" Mom asked. "I'm good." "Okay, make yourself at home. Dinner's almost ready." I walked into the living room. Daniel and Rachel were showing everyone their honeymoon photos on the TV. Italy. Gorgeous scenery. Professional-looking shots. "Isn't it amazing?" Aunt Linda gushed. "Best honeymoon ever," Rachel said. The Amalfi Coast was breathtaking. Everyone gathered around, oohing and eyeing at each photo. 20 minutes of honeymoon stories. The hotel, the food, the wine, the sunset boat ride. I sat on the couch, watched, said nothing. Claire's boyfriend Jake introduced himself. "Hey, I'm Jake. You're..." "Her brother," I said. "Nice to meet you." "Oh, cool. Claire's told me so much about her family." I doubted that included much about me. Dinner was called. Everyone moved to the dining room. Long table. Everyone had their usual spots. I ended up between Uncle Joe and Cousin Jason. The meal was good. Turkey, stuffing, all the sides. Everyone ate. Everyone talked. Stories about work, about life, about plans for the holidays. Daniel mentioned that he and Rachel might take another trip for New Year's. Everyone wanted to know where. Claire talked about a promotion possibility at work. Everyone congratulated her proactively. Dad talked about finally retiring next year. Everyone had opinions about what he should do with his time. I ate, listened, contributed when directly asked a question. Otherwise stayed quiet. This was familiar territory. This was how these gatherings always went. I was there, but not really part of it. After dinner, everyone moved back to the living room. Someone turned on football. People sprawled across couches, too full to move much. "That was incredible, Mom," Daniel said. "Best Thanksgiving yet." "Thanks, honey. I'm glad everyone could make it." "Such a good year," Aunt Linda said. "Daniel's wedding, Claire's promotion. So much to be thankful for." "We're very blessed," Mom agreed. I waited. Waited for someone to ask about me, about my year, about anything in my life. Nobody did. Then Cousin Emily turned to me, smiled. That familiar, slightly condescending smile I'd seen 1,000 times. "Your brother's wedding last month was absolutely amazing," she said. "One of the best I've ever been to. So when's yours? When are you finally going to settle down?" The room went quiet. Not completely silent. The TV still played football. Someone's phone dinged. But the conversation stopped. Everyone looked at me. Waiting. That look. The, "when are you going to get your life together like your brother" look. I set down my fork. Looked around the room at all of them. Mom, Dad, Daniel, Rachel, Claire, Aunt Linda, Uncle Joe, Emily, Jason. Every single person who'd received an invitation. And I said, very calmly, "I already had mine, last summer. You all got invitations." The room went completely silent. Even the football seemed to stop. Uncle Joe's wine glass froze halfway to his lips. Claire's fork clattered against her plate. Emily blinked. What? I already had my wedding, I said. Last summer, August 12th. You all got invitations. Dead silence. Everyone staring at me like I'd just spoken a foreign language. Dad frowned, confused, annoyed. What are you talking about? We never got any invitations. You're not married. I stood up, walked calmly to the entry table where I'd left my coat, picked up the folder, walked back to the dining room. Everyone's eyes followed me. I opened the folder on the table, pulled out the first receipt, slid it across the table to Mom. Here's the delivery confirmation for your address, I said, my voice steady, calm. Signed for by Linda Morrison on June 15th at 10:47 in the morning. Mom stared at the paper. Her hand reached out, touched it like it might burn her. Her face went white. I pulled out another receipt, slid it to Daniel and Rachel. Here's the one for your address. Signed for by Rachel Chen on June 16th at 2:32 p.m. Rachel picked it up with shaking hands, stared at her own signature. I don't... Another receipt. This one to Claire. And here's yours, Claire. Delivered to your apartment on June 14th at 3:15 p.m. Signed for by Claire Morrison. Claire's hand trembled as she took the paper. This is my signature. Yes, it is. Another receipt to Aunt Linda and Uncle Joe. Yours was delivered June 17th at 11:02 a.m. Also signed for by Linda Morrison. I looked around the table. Every single person who'd received an invitation was sitting right here. Every single one had signed for it. Every single signature was right there on official postal documents. You all got them, I said quietly. Every single one of you received a wedding invitation, with delivery confirmation, requiring a signature. You just threw them away. Mom's hand was over her mouth now, eyes filling with tears. I thought... You thought what, Mom? I thought it was... I didn't think you were serious. You received a formal wedding invitation, in the mail, with your name on it. And you thought I wasn't serious. You didn't call. I texted you, asked if you got it. You said, "Is that really happening?" Remember? Mom's face crumpled. I didn't know. You didn't know because you threw it away without even opening it. Daniel was staring at the receipt with Rachel's signature. Rachel, you threw this away? Rachel's voice was barely a whisper. I saw the envelope. I saw his name. I thought... She looked at me, tears starting. I thought it was junk mail, or maybe a joke. I'm so sorry. I didn't know... Didn't know what? That I was capable of getting married? That someone would actually want to marry me? No, that's not... Then what? What made you see a wedding invitation with my name on it and throw it away without even opening it? She had no answer. Just tears. Claire was still staring at her receipt. Her own handwriting. June 14th. I remember this, she said quietly. I saw your name on the envelope. I thought it was one of your pranks. My pranks? I looked at her. When have I ever sent prank wedding invitations? When have I done anything like that? You're always, joking around. Give me one example. One time in the last 5 years I've made a joke like that. Silence. Claire looked around the table for help. Found none. You can't, I said. Because I don't. You just assumed. Because apparently everything I do must be a joke. Because apparently I'm not serious enough to actually get married. That's not fair, Claire started. Isn't it? You saw a wedding invitation with my name on it, and your first thought was, this must be fake. That's how little you think of me. Dad cleared his throat, trying to take control. Now hold on. This isn't productive. If you wanted us at your wedding, you should have made it clearer. You should have called, made sure we understood. I sent certified mail requiring signatures. How much clearer could I be? You could have followed up. I did follow up. I texted Mom. She said, we'll see. That summer was really busy. We didn't know it was real. Why not, Dad? Why didn't you think it was real? What about me makes you think I would send out fake wedding invitations? That I would lie about getting married? Dad didn't have an answer, just looked uncomfortable. I'll tell you why, I said. Because you've never taken anything in my life seriously. My job, my relationship, my accomplishments, nothing. So when you got a wedding invitation from me, your first thought was, this can't be real, instead of, I should check on this. I pulled out another paper from the folder, unfolded it, set it on the table. The wedding was August 12th. Mountain venue. 50 guests. Beautiful ceremony. Amazing reception. It was the RSVP list. 50 names. Not a single one from my family. Not a single one of you responded. Not with yes, not with no, not with can't make it, nothing. The deadline came and went. Silence. Aunt Linda found her voice. We didn't know we were supposed to. That's what an RSVP is. That's what wedding invitations are for. You respond. You let the couple know if you're coming. Basic etiquette. But we didn't understand. You understood for Daniel's wedding. 100% response rate to his invitations. Everyone RSVP'd. Everyone came. Everyone celebrated. I pulled out my phone. Opened it to the family group chat screenshots I'd saved. Daniel's wedding? 143 messages, venue discussions, gift ideas. Everyone excited. I scrolled to a different screenshot. My wedding? 1 reminder message, 3 reactions, thumbs up, heart, smiley, 0 responses, 0 questions. I turned the phone so they could see the evidence. I got married 3 months ago, I said. I married someone wonderful, someone who loves me, someone who actually sees me. We have a life you know nothing about. Tell us now, Mom said through tears. Please, tell us about Jordan, about the wedding. We want to know. No, Mom's face crumpled. We made a mistake. You can't make it right. You missed it. Not because you couldn't come, because you couldn't be bothered to read the invitation. We'll meet Jordan now. No, you won't. You had the invitation. You had months. You chose not to care. Daniel spoke up quietly. My wedding last month. You were there. Watched everyone celebrate. And you'd already been married for 2 months. That's right. Did you think about saying something? Why would I? You'd already thrown away the invitations. Made your decision clear. Claire stared at the receipts. We really messed up. Yeah, you did. Can we fix this? Do you know what the worst part is? It's not that you missed the wedding. It's that you didn't notice. I've been wearing a wedding ring for 3 months. Came to Daniel's wedding wearing it. 3 family dinners wearing it. Not one of you noticed. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. I've been married for 3 months. None of you knew, because none of you pay attention. We notice, Dad started. You don't. You notice Daniel. You notice Claire. You notice achievements and events and things that matter. You don't notice me. You never have. I picked up the folder, put all the receipts back inside. The wedding was beautiful, I said. Jordan's family was there. Their parents, their siblings, their cousins. People who'd known me for less than 2 years but cared enough to show up. My friends were there. My coworkers. 50 people who actually wanted to celebrate with us. We would have wanted, Mom tried. You didn't want to. You had the invitation. You chose not to come. That's a choice. Own it. I stood up from the table. Where are you going? Dad asked. His voice had an edge to it, like I was being unreasonable. Home, to my apartment, to my spouse, to my actual life. You can't just leave. I can, and I am. Mom stood up. Please don't do this. Please stay. Talk to us. Let us apologize properly. Let us meet Jordan. Let you what, Mom? Feel better about yourselves? Pretend this didn't happen? Go back to normal? Let us be part of your life. You had 28 years to be part of my life. You chose not to be. You chose Daniel's accomplishments, Claire's updates, everyone else's everything. And now that you're embarrassed, now that everyone at this table knows what you did, suddenly you want in? It's not like that. It is exactly like that. You don't want to know me. You want to not look bad. There's a difference. I grabbed my coat from the back of my chair. started walking toward the door. Wait, Dad stood up. You're being dramatic. We made a mistake. People make mistakes. You don't have to blow up the entire family over this. I turned around, looked at him. I'm not blowing up the family, Dad. The family blew me up a long time ago. I was never really part of it. I was just there, filling a seat at the table, someone to round out the photos, but never actually seen, never actually included. That's not true. It is true, and you know it. You've known it for years. You just didn't care because it was easier to focus on the kids who demanded attention, the ones who fit your idea of success. I was easy to ignore. So you did. I walked to the entry table, set the folder down next to the coats. Here, I said. Keep the receipts. Look at them. See your signatures. Remember that you signed for wedding invitations and threw them away without opening them. Remember that you couldn't be bothered to even ask if it was real. I opened the door. Please. Mom was crying hard now. Please don't leave like this. You're our son. We love you. I looked at her tears, at her guilt. If you loved me, you would have opened the invitation, I said quietly. If you loved me, you would have called. If you loved me, you would have noticed the ring on my finger. Love isn't words, Mom. It's actions. And your actions have been clear for a very long time. We can change, maybe you can, but it won't be with me. I stepped outside. The cold November air hit my face. Clear. Clean. Behind me, everyone was talking at once. Mom crying, Claire apologizing, Daniel trying to mediate, Aunt Linda making excuses, Dad demanding I be reasonable. I closed the door, cut off the noise, walked to my car, got in, started the engine. My phone started buzzing immediately. Mom calling. I declined it. Claire calling. Declined. Daniel calling. Declined. Rachel. Aunt Linda. Uncle Joe. Even Cousin Emily. I put the phone on silent, pulled out of the driveway. The calls kept coming. The notifications piling up silently on my screen. By the time I reached the end of the street, I had 67 missed calls. I didn't look back. The drive home was quiet. Not the kind of quiet that makes you anxious, like the silence after a slammed door. No. This was the good kind. The silence of air clearing, of tension finally leaving your shoulders, of knowing, deep in your bones, that you just did something that mattered. My phone buzzed nonstop on the passenger seat, vibrating so much it slid halfway off. I didn't even glance at it. Instead, I kept both hands on the wheel and my eyes on the road. The familiar highway signs, the glow of streetlights, the chill creeping in through the car vents. Everything looked still, honest. I parked outside our apartment. Lights were on upstairs. Jordan must have heard the engine because the door opened before I even knocked. They were already in a hoodie and sweatpants, barefoot, eyes wide and searching. The second they saw me, they smiled. You did it, Jordan said softly, stepping aside. I walked in, set my coat down, kicked off my shoes, and finally, breathed. Jordan wrapped their arms around me before I even sat down. How did it go? I exhaled into their shoulder. I told them. Everything? Everything. We sat on the couch. I leaned back against the cushions, and for the first time in what felt like years, I didn't feel like I had to brace myself. Jordan tucked their legs under them and turned toward me. Tell me what happened. So I did. I told them about walking in. About the same old smells, the same old jokes, the same old dynamic. I told them about dinner. About the moment Emily asked me when I was finally going to settle down. About the silence that followed. And then I told them everything I said. Every receipt I pulled out. Every excuse that fell apart. Every face that went pale. Every voice that cracked. When I got to the part where I said, "You all got invitations," Jordan reached over and took my hand. They didn't say anything, just held it. When I got to the end, my mom's tears, my dad's anger, the folder left on the table, I went quiet. Jordan was still holding my hand. Do you regret it? they asked gently. I looked at them. No, they nodded. Good. I picked up my phone. 118 missed calls. I turned it off completely. We sat there for a while, the soft hum of the heater, the fridge clicking on and off. Outside, someone walked their dog down the street. Life just kept going. The next morning, I turned my phone back on briefly. 46 new voicemails. I turned it back off. That became a pattern. Days passed. Then a week. I left the phone off. Started using my work cell only. Let the old one stay in a drawer. Emails came. Some from Mom, some from Claire, a couple from Daniel. Most said things like, "We want to talk," or "Can we explain?" or "Please don't cut us off." I didn't respond. Then, one morning about a week and a half later, I got a letter. An actual handwritten letter. The return address was unfamiliar, but the handwriting wasn't. It was Grandma. I sat on the couch, turned the envelope over in my hands 3 times, then opened it. Her words were short, simple, but real. I had no idea you were getting married. If I'd known, I would have been there. You always mattered to me, always. I hope you know that. And I hope Jordan is kind to you. That's all I ever wanted. Love you, dear. No expectations. Just that. I read it twice. Then, once more. Jordan saw the letter in my hand and raised an eyebrow. Grandma? I nodded. She says she didn't know. Says she would have come. And do you believe her? I thought about it. Yeah, I do. Jordan smiled gently. So maybe she gets a reply. Maybe she does. I did end up writing Grandma back. A simple card. Thanked her for her letter, told her about the venue, the flowers, the weather. I sent a photo of Jordan and me standing under the archway, laughing, barefoot in the grass. She replied with a card of her own. That smile on your face says more than anything else. Tell Jordan I said welcome to the family, and remind them it's their job now to keep you laughing like that. We kept it light. No mention of my parents, no awkward apologies or questions. Just human kindness, like I'd always wanted. After that, I didn't hear much from the others. A few more emails from Mom. One voicemail from Claire that lasted 8 minutes and ended with her crying and saying, I really didn't think you'd actually leave. I never replied. Eventually, the messages slowed, then stopped. December passed quietly. Jordan and I decorated our tiny apartment with thrifted ornaments and string lights that only half worked. We made hot cocoa with too much cinnamon, watched bad holiday movies, slept in, laughed. No one asked where I was for Christmas dinner. No one invited me. It was the most peaceful December I'd had in years. We rang in the new year on the rooftop of our building, 2 plastic champagne flutes between us, fireworks cracking in the distance. Jordan looked at me just past midnight and asked, Do you miss them? I thought about it. Not the noise, not the chaos, but the idea of what family was supposed to be, of what it could have been. I miss the version of them I used to hope existed, I said. Jordan nodded. That's fair. We stood there together, freezing and smiling, holding hands while the wind whipped our hair. By February, we'd moved into a bigger apartment. Jordan got a job offer from a non-profit that paid better and actually respected their time. I took on a new project at work that meant I could finally drop my weekend side gig. We bought a dining table, hosted friends, laughed so loud once that the neighbor downstairs knocked to complain and then stayed for dinner. Our life wasn't big, it wasn't glamorous, but it was real. One night, 6 months after Thanksgiving, I came home to find Jordan cooking, playlist on, socks sliding over the floor, hair up, sauce splattered on the counter like a Jackson Pollock painting. Hi, baby, they called over the music. I dropped my bag, kissed their cheek, and laughed. You used my playlist. It was the only one with good chopping songs. We danced in the kitchen that night, barefoot, elbow to elbow. Later, after dinner, we sat on the couch, legs tangled, warm and tired. Jordan had their head on my chest, the TV playing some nature doc neither of us were really watching. My old phone buzzed once in the drawer. I didn't even move. Jordan glanced up. Still coming in? Occasionally. Want me to smash it with a hammer? I grinned. Tempting. They tilted their head. Do you ever wonder what they're saying now? What they think? Sometimes. And? I took a breath. Let it out slow. I used to want them to see me, to finally say, we're proud of you. I spent so long chasing it, trying to earn a spot I never really had. Jordan was quiet, letting me finish. But I don't want that anymore. I don't need it. I'm not invisible here. Not in this life. Not with you. Jordan smiled against my chest. Good. Because you were never invisible to me. We sat in that silence, the real kind, the soft kind, and I realized I'd never felt this light before. Not because something had changed out there, but because I'd finally stopped waiting for the change to come from anyone but me. It took me 28 years to figure it out. Love isn't earned through silence, or patience, or being easy to forget. Love is loud. It shows up. It remembers. And if it doesn't, it's not love. So I let go. I let the phone buzz in the drawer. I let the apologies pile up where I wouldn't see them. I let my old seat at the family table grow cold. And in that space, I built something better.